Hello, and welcome into another edition of the Sun Devil Source 2-Minute Drill. I'm Sammy Miller alongside Chris Cartman, following ASU's Wednesday practice in preparation for their big game against number 11 Oklahoma State on Saturday. Chris, there's been a lot of talk about ASU needing to be disciplined. In what ways do you think that'll help in their game against Oklahoma State?
Well, they had only one false start against NAU. I think that's a positive sign. They had a little more poise, huddling. You go on the road, it's going to be a hostile environment, but not jumping off sides or having other procedural penalties. And then what we noticed is Oklahoma State's very good job of hard count at the line of scrimmage, things that can get ASU jumping off sides, and you don't want to have that happening, and got to make sure that you handle sort of the poise of the tempo and the loud environment so that you stay poised. It was a much improved start for ASU, and we'll see if they can build off of that in this game.
And what would you say the keys are for that defense to really lock in and play a big factor in the game?
Well, so what Oklahoma State likes to do is they go tempo after that first down, then they throw a lot of screens and bubbles to the perimeter. So what you have to have happen is guys have to tackle in space, they have to come up and kind of make plays, but then they also have to be disciplined enough to not get too overly aggressive, overzealous, and then give up some vertical shots, because those blockers will transition into making double moves and get behind the defense. You got to keep everything in front of you.
And for these Sun Devils, one of their biggest keys is heading into Oklahoma State and having a strong offensive attack. In what ways do you think that will play a factor?
Got to have balance. You got to be able to run the ball. Herm Edwards likes to say that run game and defense travel. And then especially because in this scheme, what we're seeing with Glenn Thomas is he wants to do a lot of play actions. Play actions really keep linebackers stressed and difficult, figuring out kind of what they need to do when you have the ability to establish a run. And then you can fit in a lot of receivers in a levels concepts behind those guys where the voids open up in the passing game. I think Emory Jones did a pretty good job at that, and the receivers, besides Swinson as a tight end on some of these concepts that they're running. And so the ability to have that balance that you can hang your hat on and not needing to do only one thing in order to be able to be successful in a difficult environment and give yourself the ability to keep pace offensively with a pretty potent Oklahoma State offense. Very important for the team.
Well, that's all the time we have today on this edition of the Sun Devil Source 2-Minute Drill. But don't worry, we have a lot of coverage for you, so make sure to follow along on sundevilsource.com.